Oh, man. What? Let
Yeah,
me
you're
try
really laggy.
changing the definition for me. Yeah, I
Maybe try
gotcha.
taking off the background.
Okay. Uh, all right, I switched it up to high definition. Actually, you know what? Let's just go standard. All right.
Boom.
Boom. All right. Go. All right.
Oh man, you're laggy again. Ah,
Yep. Let me see if I can do something better. All right. I think I don't know. I feel like I broke yard stream.
you think you broke it? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh man, we got comments. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. You're good. Oh man, it froze again. Dang it. Thought we had something there. Nope. Oh, I guess it's just me now. Hello, everyone. It's your boy, DJ Triggs of No Debate Sports. Steve3TR1CS he's having some fun. I have no idea what's going on on that side. Oh man, it's really close to my face. I don't think I like that. So the norm. We're supposed to talk about sports. A lot of, I mean, not too much news has gone on in the last 24 hours. I don't know. We do have summer leagues over, so that's pretty cool. Um, if you want to go back to my YouTube video of draft prospects, two guys to watch out for were Gigi Jackson of I believe he's in Memphis, and Amani Bates, who was with does Metric use AOL? I that is I'm not sure. He's probably using one of those free like AOL discs from what is it, 20 years ago? Man, I'm old. Um, but yeah, Amani Bates with the Cleveland Cavaliers just completely balling. Um, put up some pretty big numbers in the championship game. Um, but the Rockets did come out on top. Cam Whitmore was the MVP of the summer league. So, which again, he was another one of those guys I was definitely watching out for. He should have been a top 10 pick. Ended up getting picked in like the 20s. Um, but real solid guard. I mean, he could probably play off the wing too, but I think he put up like 19, 20 points, something like that in the championship game, and they beat him by like 15, 20, something like that. But it wasn't even close. It was pretty bad. But the Rockets, I told you guys how I'm pretty excited to watch Portland play. I enjoy watching the Rockets play. I even liked watching them the last couple of years with Kevin Porter Jr., a dude that literally nobody wanted. I think he was on the Cavs at one point, and then he just went to the Rockets and exploded. Um, see if I can look up some numbers for Kevin Porter really quick as we're chatting about AOL and internet. Yeah, Kevin Porter is one of those dudes that literally, if you don't know the name, like he could be real solid for a while. I don't know. At 6'4", like 6'4", 6'5", he plays the 1 and the 2. I mean, you could probably put him at the 3, but he's not like super long and tall. Uh, let's see. What were his stats the last couple of years? So yeah, I was right. He started with Cleveland. He had like 10 points a game at 23 minutes, and then went to the Rockets. Started for like half the season. Went to 32 minutes, was putting up 17 points, uh, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. And then the next year, 16, 6, and 4. And then this past year, 19, 6, and 5. And I mean, playing 34 minutes a game, he started 59 out of the 59 games that he played. And like that Rockets team is gonna be nasty. I think they got one of the twins. One of them went to Detroit. I know that. And like you put them with Kevin Porter, Cam Whitmore, um, like Fred Van Vliet's over there now, and Dylan Brooks. Like you got a pretty solid starting lineup. I don't really know who their center is going to be. That could be a problem. Sengun maybe. Um, but yeah, like they I love looking up stats. Stats obviously we're no debate sports. We love stats. It's right there in the name. But especially numbers. Numbers are big for us. Um, you get to see a little bit of the magic. I can't show you exactly what sites I'm going on and everything, but I love stats. Stats are incredible. Let's see. We're going to go to the 2022-2023 Rockets. All right. So Kevin Porter was their number 1 minutes guy. Oh, I forgot all about Jalen Green, top pick from a year ago. But Kevin Porter's 22, Jalen Green's 20, Jabari Smith Jr. 19, um, Sengun is only 20. They got Kenyon Martin Jr. He's 22. Uh, like they're just so stacked for a young team. Um, so Kevin Porter Jr. was putting up 19 a game, like I said before. Jalen Green with 22, Jabari Smith with 13. Sengun had 15 and 9. Kenyon Martin Jr. with 13 and 5 rebounds. So like now you add 2 more players on top of that, and like these couple of drafted players, like they could be really, really nice. Cam Whitmore and Amon Thompson, like, dude, I I'm pretty sure they're gonna be nice. Like, oh, and they added Aaron Holiday too. I didn't even know that. Jeff Green's over there for like he's probably the oldest player on the team, obviously. Like 14 or 15 years of experience. Like he's been all over the place. Um, but yeah, you're just adding guards. They really don't have any centers. Oh, Jock Landale got signed there too. Um, you're looking at a young team of just athletic studs. And like I said, 4 or 5 of them were putting up double digits last season. So now you have Cam Whitmore out there who's probably going to play the 3. Uh, and one of the Thompson twins, he's probably going to play like 2, 3. So those guys are probably going to get their minutes here and there. You could probably look at 20, maybe 25 minutes a game for each one. Um, But now Eric Gordon, obviously went to the Suns, so taking his minutes are going to be pretty legit. Do you think Bol Bol is the missing piece of the puzzle? I thought Bol Bol went to. Is he on the? Is he on the Lakers? I thought he went to the Suns. Mm, mm, mm. I thought he went to the Suns. Let me check that out here real quick. Yeah, he just went to the Suns on a 1-year deal. According to Sports Illustrated a day ago. He's on a vet minimum, which is kind of weird because he's in his 5th season and he's only 23. So like he's gonna back up DeAndre Ayton, obviously. Failing again this season. Um I don't know if it's a fail for Devin Booker, but I mean this year if they don't win the championship, that's obviously gonna be a fail. Their lineup's pretty stacked. They're bringing in Eric Gordon, so I did find this kind of funny. They don't have a point guard on their team right now. Um, Devin Booker did play some point guard at some point, and Kevin Durant's an underrated distributor of the basketball. So if you have Devin Booker at the 1, Beal at the 2, Kevin Durant at the 3, I don't know, DeAndre Ayton plays the 4, and Bol Bol gets to start. Uh, that would be kind of crazy, but who knows? It's so funny to me that Bol Bol like can't find a team. The dude was averaging 9 and 6 last year, coming off the bench for Orlando for 20 minutes. Like those aren't spectacular numbers, but they're not bad numbers either. I'm gonna try to find his per 36 here. Yeah, per 36, the dude is averaging 15 and 9, like for a career. I really don't. I wonder if he has like a bad attitude or something because why dating one of the Kardashians? Oh man, I'm not gonna touch that one. I don't actually know if any of their Kardashians are single or what's going on there. I think did Devin Booker date one of them at some point? Because who knows? Let's see if I can find the Suns roster right quick. Because uh, yeah, they besides Bol Bol, I don't even DeAndre Ayton and Bol Bol are the only centers on the team. So like they're so stacked that between shooting guard and small forward, like I I think she dumped him when the Bucks just oh jeez. Uh well, I mean, he didn't win the championship, so maybe she had to go find the next guy. Um, but I don't know which one dumped him. So there's like 20 Kardashians or something now. But um, you know what's funny? Do you remember when Chris Humphries was dating Kim Kardashian and he was supposed to be like the next, I don't know, star? I think he played for the Nets at that point. Um, that did not work out well. But he was a solid player. I think that was the Nets team that had like Marshawn Brooks on it. Kendall Jenner? I All right, this is gonna sound really bad, but I don't actually know which one that is. She like a younger daughter or younger sister of one of the Kardashians? That's messed up.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. But the Suns can be weird, man. They're gonna have like so much guard play. But if you're maybe they've picked up so many guards and so many wing players just so Booker, Beal, and Durant don't get hurt. One of Bruce Jenner's kids. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Is she like super famous and has a perfume and all that stuff? Because it seems like all of them have the same stuff. Um. Oh, we might have Metrics back with us. Maybe.
I think I'm back. I hear you, Triggs.
Sweet. Yeah. So I don't know. The Suns, I think they're gonna be all right as long as they're all healthy. But I kind of hate when I hear that because that goes for every single team in the NBA. One of the sisters will be after Metrics. Metrics is going to be with the Kardashian sister. That could work. um, hopefully he can hear that. But yeah, like
yeah, I don't know about that, Triggs. I don't know about that. He as into football as I am.
Hey, I mean, Kim Kardashian dated Reggie Bush. It could work. Gosh, that's
ironically, if you get a chance, pull up or what? But I kid you not, she is absolutely a doppelganger of Kim Kardashian.
Who's a doppelganger of Kim Kardashian? Oh no. I'm gonna need you to like type that to me because you're breaking up again.
You hear me?
Barely. You're breaking up a lot.
Oh no.
Kanye's got a new wife. That sounds right. But yeah, oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying though, with basketball, like even if you're stacked up top, it comes down to just talent because everyone's going to play like 40 minutes. I mean, look what Kevin Durant did when he was by himself in Brooklyn with Kyrie out and Harden down. He was playing like 48 minutes for like 2 straight games, and he played in overtime and won. The famous toe on the line game. But as long as like they've got some guys to just run through the regular season, they should be okay. Um, but the sad part, Aiden, like he's not as great on defense against some of the bigger centers. So playing against a Lakers team with AD and or Cat with Minnesota, like he's gonna get exposed again. First Giannis exposed him, he and Brooke in the finals. But Jokic is over there, like, yeah, it's not gonna be easy. Memphis has got Steven Adams, he'll bully him down low. I think she's one of his employees. Oh, geez. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a matter of if you can keep up scoring wise with the Suns. But there's so many teams now that have like their own uh, quote unquote like Kobe stopper. If you remember, like Ruben Patterson back in the day, that's not a name you'll hear very often, but like a Bruce Bowen. Everyone's starting to grab one guy that can just play defense. And sometimes, like Drew Holiday last year or a couple months ago, I say last year because the last NBA season. But Drew Holiday got exposed by Jimmy Butler. But at the same time, on defense, great offense can beat great defense sometimes. It just happens. But then you look at um, the finals, Jimmy Butler was pretty much off, and it wasn't because someone shut him down. It was just he just wasn't on. Um, but he was on fire for 3 series, so it's nuts. Um, yeah, just stuff like that happens. But with the NBA, it's all about star players and all that. Um, but I think the Suns have a better shot at it than the Miami Heat this year. But who knows? Suns will have to go through, you know, Denver. Denver's pretty much the same team, but they did lose their stopper though. Bruce Brown went to Indiana, so he got his money and did his thing. So you never know, but KCP's over there. He's pretty long and athletic. He does his thing. Um, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter, they're you know they're gonna do their thing. They're long and athletic on the outside, on the wing. Jokic, he showed that he's not exactly a pushover on defense, but he's also not like a stud by any means. But I don't know. There's so many teams. Like I said, I'm excited to watch Portland and Houston do their thing. But that's also because I just like some of the young players, the athletic players doing their thing. Metrics, you're moving fluidly over there.
Yeah, I'm trying. I think I had OBS open while having Yardstream open, and they conflicted. I noticed when I tested the mic that it was much better. It was much better reception. So I think that was where my conflict was going on, was between two different streaming softwares.
Oh, because you're perfect right now. Like, just stay like this. Whatever happens, just stay like this.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I did. Was I had multiple streaming softwares on at the exact same time, and that definitely screwed with the streaming uh, communications, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely learning more technical behind the scenes stuff every time we do something new with this. So yeah, we just take it as we go, you know? Uh-oh.
Right.
Are you hearing me?
Do I think Ben Simmons will be comeback player of the year? Um, actually, uh, I can't say no, but I can't say yes. That team is kind of run by Mikal Bridges now, so and then they just brought back Spencer Dinwiddie, who plays point guard. So Ben Simmons, I would run him at the 4, and from what I've seen, he's been in the gym working on his jump shot. So, um, I think he was working out with Curry at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they got Lonnie Walker, Nick Claxton, Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie. Like I said, Royce O'Neal got traded over there. So, as a like starting 5, Ben Simmons has his spot. Like, as long as he's going to come back and play basketball, he's a walking triple double. I mean, the dude is he's a all defensive player. Um, Definitely been an all-star. So if you give him the right group around him, yeah, I mean, why not? Comeback player of the year. I don't think they have that in the NBA, but Patrick just runs away. But hey, look, I got the No Debate Sports logo up next to me. That's awesome. Except I don't really know what you guys see, so but that's our logo. It's dope. Um, this is the best video you've ever had. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is one for the ages. It's been an interesting week. That's for sure for our videos.
Oh, yeah. The Nets also have Dorian Finney-Smith. Like that dude's he's a 3-and-D like stud. Came from Dallas. So adding him on the wing, like I don't just looking at the roster, besides Claxton, they also don't really have a center. So I mean, they don't really have any bigs at all. So Ben Simmons playing the power forward spot. Mikal Bridges going to the 3 where he usually plays, puts up like 20 a game. Then you got like Dinwiddie behind him, Spencer, or I'm sorry, Dorian Finney-Smith behind him, Spencer Dinwiddie at the guard. Cam Johnson's over there, and Lonnie Walker running 2. Like, that's definitely not a playoff team. That might not even be a play-in team. But, hey, that might be the perfect spot for Ben Simmons to get his mojo back because, there's no pressure on him at all. They're going to be horrible. So why not? Like I said, there's no comeback player of the year, but he could be like, a cool story for the ESPYs next year.
I don't know.
I mean, but Zion might take that away because, Zion could have came back at the end of the season, but then he said, "Oh, I'm not Zion yet." And everyone was like, "Bro, just go play basketball. You're like 20 years old. Go play basketball."
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something weird going on with that guy. The fact that he was able to do all these windmill dunks
Yeah.
before practices or practicing before games, and he couldn't play during games,
Right?
and he wants out of New Orleans. I mean, it's literally Anthony Davis 2.0. I
I
don't
don't think
get what it is with these high profile players that get to a team and they say, "Great, I've been here for 2 years. I haven't been healthy, and now I want out." Like, what are you doing?
it's like he wants to be out. I think they've just been really I from what I've taken from it, like the team has just been really brutal with him. Like when he did get injured, they're like, "Hey, like we need you now. Like let's come back." And then he's like, "Hey, it was a big injury. I use a lot of that explosiveness. I'm not really ready." And even this last time, like what was that, like a month ago, where he's just like, "Oh, I can play basketball. I just can't play at Zion level." And it's like, well, I get it. I mean, the dude was averaging like 26 and 10. So like if you're not going to be a superstar and then you come back and you're just like a normal player, people are probably going to start bashing you and that might get to your head.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But I just feel like that New Orleans team is really starting to put themselves in the right direction.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you really don't want to be a part of that, then I think it speaks more to who he is and not to what the franchise is. So at the end of the
Right.
day, this is doing more damage to Zion than it is to the Pelicans, for sure.
Dude, absolutely. Like that
They took
team.
Phoenix to 7.
Yeah. And just in general, like, dude, they have Jonas Valanciunas at the 5. If you put
Yeah,
Zion at the
he's a great
4,
great big guy. Yep.
right. And he can stretch and shoot the 3, plus he's a banger. Like, you go inside with Valanciunas, like, you're gonna have some bruises. He's like a Steven Adams who can shoot. Um,
Absolutely.
Really underrated, to be honest. Then, like, if Zion could play the 4, Brandon Ingram at the 3, you got, CJ McCollum who came over, a 20-point scorer. Like, I can't think
Yeah,
of
you got
who
that.
oh, Alvarado is
Yeah,
their,
Jose
like, a pesky
Alvarado.
point guard. Like, dude,
Yep.
they have a yeah, they have a
Yeah,
studly 5. Like, 4 out of those 5 guys can put up 20 any given night, but Zion's not there. You're missing 25 points a game just by not having him there.
exactly. Yep. Yep. Exactly. So yeah, that's what we got going on. That's for sure.
Oh, you know who else they got? My boy Jordan Hawkins from UConn. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember in the video. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the
The
Ray
shooter.
Allen shooter. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's a guy.
I
That
mean,
is for
he
sure a
could
guy.
probably take Jose Alvarado's spot. I mean, Jose Alvarado's not really a super starter, but he's
But you need
pesky.
that guy.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He
but
reminds
like
me
CJ
of kind of like
McCollum.
yep. Yeah,
Oh,
you
go
need
ahead.
CJ to. Yeah, I think you definitely need CJ to run the point, and then Alvarado is kind of like that player from West Virginia for the Bucks. I'm blanking on his name, but you need those guys to come in and out who can just play like really relentless defense and do what they do and score a little bit. I
Mhm.
mean, I was seeing Jose Alvarado during that Phoenix series. I mean, he was scoring some points low post. He's got the ability that he can play. I mean, it's not going to be for monstrous amount of minutes, but he definitely has the ability to keep the offense flowing and definitely just amp up the defensive pressure for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he plays like 20 minutes a game. He started. I'm looking it up now. He started like 10 games, played like
Okay.
61. So like
Yeah.
he's not going to be like an everyday guy, but
Okay.
he's definitely going to get his minutes off the bench. So like putting Hawkins in there next to CJ and then Brandon Ingram, like that's
Yep.
three dudes who can literally shoot the lights out.
Nice.
So like
Yeah,
having a Zion back
that's
would
a
be
nice team.
big.
Exactly. That's a pretty good team. That's definitely a team that I would be looking on for maybe even some future bets for the next NBA season to at least win their division. I mean, I know divisions mean absolutely nothing in terms of NBA playoffs, but it's a pretty good looking team they got down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
they were ninth in the
they're
West.
with
So I
Memphis.
mean,
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So they were ninth in the West, yet they still found their way into the tournament, right? I think they were nine, and then they won their head-to-head game,
Yep.
so they entered as a eight.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, good
I
stuff.
think
Good
so.
stuff.
8 or 7, right? 7?
Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, that's right.
7, because
The play-in
Denver was the
tournament.
1 seed.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. So they would have entered as a seven. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Hey, I mean,
that I like that. I was also wondering too, back when you were talking about Imani Bates, um, is there really an outside chance that that guy might be Rookie of the Year?
I I've been thinking that, but the only problem I have with that, like, um, Cleveland brought over oh, man, why am I blanking? Not Duncan Robinson. One of the shooters from, Miami. Ah, man, it's gonna eat at my soul if I don't look it up.
Yeah, you might be right about Duncan
Uh,
Robinson because I know the other one went to the Lakers. The
yeah,
one that was just shooting lights out and was playing
Gabe Vincent.
probably the best. Yeah, Gabe Vincent. Yep, he went to the Lakers. So yeah, it's that would be interesting, but I mean, why take Imani Bates over Duncan Robinson at this point? Yeah.
Absolutely. Come on. It's telling me Karis LeVert, and I'm like, "Yeah, we know Karis LeVert was already there. He resigned." I know they got
Oh,
George Niang. That was a big one.
okay. Okay.
He's a
Huh.
shooter. But why can't I
Sure.
find the other why am I blanking on who they got? Max Strus. That's who it was. Max
Okay.
Strus.
Yeah, Matt. I didn't think that guy played well at all. I was very disappointed in how Max Struess played in pretty much any game
Yeah.
I saw him play for the Miami Heat. I thought he just went out there. He was a body. He'd complain about a call here and there, and he'd find his way back on the bench.
Wow. That's hurtful.
It's what I saw. It's what I'm going to remember him for. I mean, it's like DeAndre Hopkins. Now I'm going to remember you forever as a phenomenal receiver that just went from bad team to bad team to bad team. That's what you are.
Yeah, but Max Strus, like during the season, he averaged 11 points a game, and he shot 35% from three, and he's overall a 37% 3-point shooter. So the guy, like he was balling. He was doing his thing during the regular season.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do with shooting from the three.
So you were probably thinking his playoff run, because he shot 31% during the playoffs, so at three. So he fell off really badly.
Yes.
But
I didn't see him do anything.
But he got a big contract. I think he got like 4 years, like $60 million or something. So they're definitely going to use him. I honestly don't see, and this is what bothers me about Cap. Yeah, right. This is what bothers me about Caps. The dude was a bench player. He did not have a good playoffs, and he still got like $15 million in a 4-year deal. And it's like, and I mean $15 million a year. Like he got 4 years, $60 million. And so, but then if you look at the Cavs, where does he play? You have Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Strus is not. None of those guys play the small forward position. So, why would you pay a guy $15 million to come off the bench? Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't see a guy like Strus really doing anything in the long run. I just see if he's on Cleveland with all those other players, they have great young players. They have great young talent that just keeps coming up through the ranks. 60 million for 4 years. I honestly, considering what I saw in the playoffs, I just wouldn't even have that guy on the roster. I just don't even think he's that good to be on a team.
I mean, as like a bench 3-point shooter, I'm good, but not like I'm gonna get his exact contract, but like it's nuts. Like there's no way this dude should have got as much as he did.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I want everybody to make their money, but who knows?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, the Amani Bates. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up what that betting line is for Amani Bates going into next season, if I can find it. Looks like I don't know.
The exact number is 4 years, 63 million. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty
so you're
insane
right
16
there. 16 million a year.
Huh. Yeah, that is pretty insane right there.
Right. And like I said, Karis LeVert earlier, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, so you've got Donovan Mitchell, you have Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio's in front of him. I like Sarah.
Okay.
You got George Niang, Amani Bates. Like, where does Max Strus play? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and Isaac Okoro. I didn't even see his name on the list, but like they have like 6, 7 guys that can play the guard to wing. Because like Amani Bates, yeah, he's 6'10", but they list him at guard, which it blows my mind. But like, not saying he is KD, but he plays similar to KD. Like, yeah, KD's near 7 foot, but you don't see him going in the paint like posting dudes up. He takes them off the dribble,
right?
And that's how Amani Bates plays. So I don't really see where Max Strus plays. It just blows my mind.
Okay. So I'm pulling up right here the odds for Rookie of the Year, and it looks like Amani Bates on FanDuel is going for plus 15,000, and on Caesars and MGM he is going for plus 8,000. And I feel like that is that's quite the odds. Now, here's the weird thing that I have noticed, and I thought I saw this on another website, and then I came to this Vegas Insider site. So they are going to designate Chet Holmgren as a rookie this
As a
year.
rookie. Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is very interesting. I've never seen that in the NFL, and this is definitely the first time I'm seeing it in the NBA.
Oh no, it happens all the
Chet.
time.
Oh, really? Okay.
In the NBA,
Who's
yeah.
yeah?
Oh, it's gonna all right. I'm gonna look it up because someone recently won the Rookie of the Year just like this.
Okay. But I mean, I would say
NBA
like,
Rookie of
okay,
the
great.
Year.
If I really like what I saw out of Imani Bates, I mean, you're literally saying a $10 bet can pay out 1,500 on FanDuel, like $10 right there. And even for the plus 8,000, you're looking at a $20 bet that can pay you out 1,600. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you're essentially betting
Yeah.
against Wembanyama and Homegrown,
Oh,
but I think you might want to do it. I mean, it's very little investment whatsoever.
hey, can you look up is Cam Whitmore on that list? What is his?
Yeah, he's actually looking like he's about the sixth best odds. I think they do have this sorted by FanDuel, I want to say. But for Cam Whitmore, you're getting about plus 4,000 on FanDuel. You're getting plus
Okay.
2,000 on Caesars, MGM, and DraftKings. And PointsBet, you're getting plus
Yeah.
2,800. So your best odds there are definitely
Man,
FanDuel,
I wonder what that
but
was. I wonder what it
one more
was
time,
like a week
Triggs.
ago before he won the huh?
So like before he won MVP for the Summer League?
Summer League, yeah.
Yeah, I think. All right. I don't. Yeah, I want to say there is. Actually, you know what? I think I could find that. I want to say it would be on Odds Shark. I remember that's a site that posts odds and also posts like odds at a certain date, so you can reference them in the past and see how those odds have changed. Let me see.
Yeah. Because I know he was asked like right after so he was on uh the ESPN like NBA whatever today or whatever the show's called, and he was asked about
Yeah,
it, and he's literally like, "Yeah, I'm trying to win Rookie of the Year," like, and they're
gotcha.
like it. I think it was what's her name, Andrews or whatever. Why
Okay,
is it? What's the young lady's name on there?
young
Oh,
lady
it's gonna kill me.
on
The
what?
one that Giannis doesn't. She doesn't appreciate. He doesn't like her very much.
I don't know. This is the first time I'm
Have you ever
hearing
seen
of
that where
any of this.
Giannis walked out on an interview?
Oh, Malika Andrews.
Oh, you've got to look it up. So the year, yes, Malika. There we go. Yeah,
Okay.
the year that Giannis was signing his new deal. So like right before the Bucks had lost in the playoffs, it was a big deal. Like she basically wrote a story about him leaving and then came up in the press conference when they lost and was like, "Oh, kind of insinuating like, oh, what was going to happen?" And he looks over at Chris Middleton and Middleton looks over at him like, "Hey, that's for you." And he gets up and walks away. just right out of the press
Wow.
conference. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
But
that's interesting.
But
Huh.
yeah, she was interviewing Whitmore, and he basically was like, "I'm gonna win Rookie of the Year," and she was so shocked by it, and she's like, "Well, what what makes you think that?" And he's like, "I just got confidence," and I'm like, "I might take that guy."
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know. Like I lately, I haven't liked as much of building a portfolio for some of that stuff because when you do, I mean, you're getting really invested um, across the field on something that is truly a long shot. But for NBA Rookie of the Year, I mean, I kind of get this feeling along the lines that you have that it's probably either going to be Whitmore or Bates if it's definitely not Chet Holmgren or Victor, excuse me, or Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, Scoot Henderson all the way.
Scoot
He's
Henderson.
my number one,
Okay.
no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I picked him as my Rookie of the Year before. I was like, don't even care about Victor Wembanyama. I like Scoot Henderson.
Well, he's the Charlotte Hornet guy, right? And he's the one that dunked on Victor Wembanyama in like that first game he played.
Nope. No, that was
Oh,
Brandon
okay.
Miller. That's Brandon Miller. Scoot Henderson plays for Portland.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So interesting thing here is Scoot Henderson has the third best odds, pretty much hovering around 400, plus 400 across all platforms.
Yeah.
And then Brandon Miller, who we just mentioned, is basically just over. We'll say about 1,000, 1,200. His odds are 950 on MGM, but other than that,
Really?
you get something about plus 1,200 or better on any other sportsbook platform.
So who's number two?
Number two is Chet Holmgren. Yeah,
Oh, that no way. No way. No way at all.
yeah.
I
That's
can't go
why.
that far. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That's. I mean, I know it's a thing, like you say, but I'm not a fan of that. I've never seen it before in my life. I know you have, but that would never go in the NFL for sure.
yeah. The so Brooke not Brooke. Uh
Robin.
Blake Griffin won Rookie of the Year, and
Okay.
he was injured his entire first season.
Oh, interesting. So he was. Oh yeah, you know what? That's right because he was drafted out of Oklahoma, and then he comes in and boom, pretty
Yep.
much right away got hurt. Yeah, I remember a lot of guys were trying to
Yeah.
hitting him in the man region, and really screwing around with how that guy played attacking the rim. But yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, wow. Hmm.
And there's someone else that was like that, but I don't think they won. But like, I don't know. To me, like Chet Holmgren playing in Oklahoma City. So the reason why I can't give him Rookie of the Year, there's so many established pieces in Oklahoma City already. Josh Giddey,
Yes.
Shea
Yep.
Shea was putting up
Yep.
30 a game. Like,
Yeah,
so
he's pretty
and
scary.
Lou Dort's out there. Yeah, he's an
Okay.
all-star. Like, and so like there's too many mouths to feed in Oklahoma City, and they've been doing this before he got there. And during
Yes.
summer league, he didn't really look that amazing. So I
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
know. But
Yep.
San Antonio basically got rid of their whole offense. Uh
Okay.
Portland, like I said, Portland's gonna be fun to watch, but
Sure.
Shea Sharp is the only guy over there that's gonna get touches. So Scoot Henderson's got a shot. Um Cam, Houston's got a lot of mouths to feed, but there's no like legit number one. Um, I was going through their stats earlier, and it's like Kevin Porter, Jalen Green from last year. Like, there's a couple guys that would be in front of Whitmore, but then uh, you go to Charlotte where Brandon Miller is, and LaMelo's number one, no matter what. So, but they've also gotten rid of all of their people too. So you got to look at it like that. Like, yeah, Wembanyama might be the number one option. Brandon Miller, Scoot's gonna probably be 1, 2 somewhere in there. Um, like Amani Bates, yeah, he's gonna be like the fourth or fifth option. But Cleveland really needs that fourth or fifth option because they don't have anyone else, you know?
Right, right. I gotcha. I gotcha. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. That Chet Holmgren, I mean, he's good, but is he really going to just blow the lights off the roof and overtake the rest of the rookies? I don't see that. I mean, I still think Vegas has him high up there on the odds because of the notoriety. But when it comes to actual like chemistry with your offense, and is there that void for the rookie to step in and really take hold of the offense and be a huge contributing factor? I don't think that exists with Holmgren. Like you say, I think that exists with some of these other
Right.
rookies that we see coming into the league.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to look up the roster right now because I'm like, who? There's too many guys out there.
Okay,
Who else? Oh man, Victor Oladipo went there. Davis
Vic.
Bertans is there.
Wait, so Victor Oladipo right now is in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, yep.
Nice,
I think he got traded
nice.
there like uh right before or like right at the beginning of the free agency period.
Okay, okay, interesting.
Oh man, Rudy Gay is still in the league.
Okay.
17 years.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Huh. Yeah, I know Vince Carter was in the league for quite a while, so that's pretty
Yeah,
cool to see Rudy Gay do that.
but he's one of those guys where you're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
wow. He was basically traded for a second round pick.
Okay,
Oladipo
okay.
fell off that bad. That's nuts.
Yeah, his I believe he definitely had a torn ACL. Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
really bad knee injury. Really bad. Yeah. Yeah, I mean his he
dude,
was
he
looking
has been
promising
all
real.
over the league. Holy cow!
Yeah, because everyone's looking at him as potential.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. I get it.
Whew, blows my mind.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm assuming you got some football talk you want to throw in there. What do you got for us, Mr. Metrics?
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely got some talk. I know we're definitely talking sports gambling and the such, and I do want to save some of this. I don't want to surprise it. The video for what I am describing in the sports betting world will go online tomorrow morning, and yeah. So what I'm bringing up, kind of like you were talking rookie of the year and whatnot. Yeah, that's what I've looked at. I've looked at the offensive rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, the NFL comeback player of the year, the head
Oh,
coach of the year, and MVP. So I don't want to spoil anything. I kind of want to get your insights and we'll kind of play off it. But essentially, with these five
hmm.
bets, this would be five $10 bets, $50 total, that could potentially pay out 680. So the way these work is when you place these bets at a sports book or on your phone or whatnot, you unfortunately cannot parlay these bets together. when it comes to these kind of prop bets, they like to keep them separated. So that's how they work.
Yeah.
You might actually get away with possibly cross sport parlays as long as the odds aren't like too through the roof. If you go way too high, my arm keeps vanishing. All right, there we go. If you go way too high with your odds, then your sports book will put the kibosh on what you're trying to actually bet. But if you keep it in a reasonable ballpark, you might get away with it. So, yeah, I know we were talking NBA Rookie of the Year. Is there a NFL Rookie of the Year candidate that you're looking at for offense?
You know what's weird? The draft was so long ago. I don't really know.
Okay.
let, let me
Yeah.
look up some NFL rookies on offense.
Yeah, and I'll kind of refresh your
Mhm.
memory with kind of like the big things
Yeah.
going on. So the very most impactful thing that was going on is there's two big time running backs that are getting a lot of attention for Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah, Bijan
There's
Robinson.
definitely bingo, exactly.
Bijan.
So there is
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of the guy that you're thinking of. So I'm going to counteract
Oh,
that.
that's a
And,
definite.
okay, I'm going to push back against Bijan because he has a shared backfield. And granted, it is a very strong offensive line, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, but he has two other really good running backs, and they're going to have the most
It's
exotic
true.
package to attack defensive fronts of anyone in the NFL. It's going to be pretty mind blowing. I mean, the only thing that could counter that is if Miami were to get Dalvin Cook, and then you have Dalvin Cook, Jeff Wilson, and Raheem Mostert. That would be a pretty fearsome package should they choose to go with those three. But I don't know. I mean, there's definitely things that I like with Bijan. I mean, when it comes to fantasy, I think I would feel very comfortable and very confident drafting the guy. And I mean, in my eyes, I kind of enjoy that more than the actual bet itself. But I would not bet Bijan Robinson for Rookie of the Year, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's
Oh, I
there's
got another one.
Okay, throw me another one.
Because you remember, I was really big on this guy during the draft. I had to go look at my draft notes.
Gotcha.
Anthony Richardson. Yep.
Anthony Richardson.
That's who I'm going with.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely doable. I easily see them going into week one with him. I do not think Gardner Minshew is better
Mhm.
than that guy at all. I'm honestly I'm pretty disappointed in how Gardner Minshew's play has developed in recent years. I like what Richardson is doing. I love the head coach that he has with him. I mean, Shane Steichen is going to essentially run the Philadelphia Eagles offense, and Richardson I mean, Shane Steichen wanted to get a clone of Jalen Hurts as his quarterback. Anthony Richardson is a clone of Jalen Hurts, so they're going to run that offense. But is it going to be at such a high caliber that that offense can run as well as the other offenses in the NFL and still be like very impressive and more impressive than the running backs that are at the top of this NFL draft? I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I think he's going to do okay, but I mean, the thing with them too is like they need to have a good offensive line. I would kind of want to go that route with you if they had a better offensive line. I mean, it's still going to be a focus on Jonathan Taylor, but man, I mean, even Jonathan Taylor had trouble with that offensive line. So if they can fix that, then Richardson should take off. Um, the other thing is there is another running back up there that's pretty high up there with the
Oh,
likes of Bijan Robinson.
yes.
Yeah, Jameer
I was
Gibbs in
thinking
Detroit.
he was going to be my number 3. Yep.
Okay,
Gibbs, right?
gotcha. Yes, and the good thing with Gibbs there is his offensive line is going to be just as good as Bijan Robinson's, but the advantage he has is he doesn't have to share the backfield with two other running
Yep.
backs. He does have to share the backfield with David Montgomery, but even then, right now, I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs over David Montgomery every day of the week. I just love what he does out of the backfield. I think he will be able to run for pretty good power. And I think he's going to have more shiftiness than David Montgomery as well. So I do feel that that is something that will help him throughout the season. But again, the only thing too with Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs is like this workload for rookies is pretty heavy. All five of the ones last year, all of them went down. Not a single one of them could make it from start to finish. And the only one who was going at a pretty good clip, who was probably going to get there, was Brees Hall. But he went down about halfway through the season. And once he started going down, so did Damian Pierce. Kind of blanking on the other ones, but I want to say there were about like five-ish kind of good-looking rookie running backs that people wanted to use, and not a single one of them could do it. Tyler Algier was another one. Kind of started kind of slow, kind of faded, and then he reappeared at like the middle to the end of the season and did really well with the Atlanta Falcons. But that was another one that was like, hey, I thought he was going to come out of the block and just knock it out of the park. But still, I mean, I think when it comes to all of those teams, not a single one of them really had a good offensive line to start the season. Maybe by season's end, Atlanta showed what they were. But I think this is the first season where we're seeing those rookie running backs enter with really good offensive lines. So that's where I think they get a little bit of extra preference as a rookie of the year candidate. The other thing that is out there is you had pretty much in the middle of, I want to say it was the first round, where all of a sudden there were like four consecutive wide receivers that were all drafted next to each other. I want to say that was Jackson Smith and Jigba. Then there was, you had Jordan Addison was in that group from Southern Cal. He's with Minnesota. Then you had
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers with Baltimore, and the big guy you like, Quentin Johnson with the Chargers.
Chargers.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's interesting. I'm pretty much with you. Like this rookie of the year to me is going to be either Anthony Richardson. It could be one of those two running backs, or it could be one of those four wide receivers. And I mean, shoot, the other thing we're not even bringing out there is the fact that there's like five rookie tight ends that are all going to be starters like week one, right out of the gates. So then you have those rookie tight ends, but they're not really, I feel when it comes to rookie of the year, they're just not going to have the volume that those wide receivers have. And I would almost feel like there's more of a likelihood that even those running backs, one of those two, I think will cross the finish line from start to finish. So that's why I would avoid the tight ends for sports betting. So
yeah, with Quentin Johnson, like I really like his volume and upside because
okay,
Mike Williams can never finish a season, and then
exactly.
Herbert's gonna throw for 4,000 plus. So Keenan Allen, he always gets injured. Eckler,
Yep.
I don't think he's gonna go 16, 17 games. So like there's gonna be a lot of passing opportunity, a lot of receiving yards out there. So Johnson could be a sleeper for rookie of the year. I didn't actually think about that until you said it. And I was like, oh yeah. Didn't he go to like TCU, right?
Yeah, big guy out of TCU. I mean, we know the guys that the Chargers have, but man, there's something about that guy with Justin Herbert and that offense that to me looks different. Like you take the other kind of flashy, dashy. I mean, Quentin Johnson is just big. He's kind of a different prototype. I mean, even Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think is big. It's more of that size disadvantage that those two players create. Even though Quentin is outside and Jackson is in the slot. I like those guys a lot. The shifty guys, the Brandon or the Zay Flowers and the other one, totally blanking, Jordan Addison. I just feel like they're almost like too far back on the progression of the quarterback. Possibly Zay Flowers might get there, but there's something with I think Jordan Addison. I mean, he's gonna be the definitely like the fourth progression of Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins. So I would just like I think the guy's a great player, but that's something where it's like, hey, I think he's a great player, but I really just want to understand the offense and really see what happens with Minnesota because those progressions are going to go Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, and then Jordan Addison. That's how Kirk Cousins is going to read the field more often than not. So that's kind of why I like Jordan Addison a lot, but I don't know. That's not a guy I would target for fantasy, and it's not a guy I would either bet on either. So yeah, that's
Right, and
kind of that.
that's what I was thinking with Quentin Johnson. Is Zay Flowers is going to be like I would say like fourth in the progressions for Lamar because there's already two star guys there. His starter from a year ago, now
Yep,
OBJ, Mark
yep,
Andrews, like so
yep.
he's definitely behind. And that's why I was saying with Johnson is like Keenan Allen has been hurt a lot, Mike Williams has been hurt a lot, and Herbert throws for 4,500 yards. Like somebody's got to catch it.
Yeah. Exactly. You're spot on with that. And to me, what I noticed last year, I mean, that was the theory that I utilized. I drafted Josh Palmer and I rode him for a little bit early on in the season, and that was exactly the train of thought I was going with. But the problem I noticed with Josh Palmer is he was clearly undersized. Even like
Yeah,
him next to DeAndre Carter didn't really look like there was that much of a size difference. Mike Williams truly brings a size difference. Even Gerald
right.
Everett may not be the biggest tight end, but even Gerald Everett makes really solid catches and has a good wingspan. I felt like when you saw, I feel like now that Quentin Johnson is there, he has that wingspan, that reach that Justin Herbert will clearly take advantage with that he wasn't able to get out Josh Palmer. So, and granted, there were errant throws from the broken ribs and whatnot, and we get it. But to me, there's just like this different persona. It's almost like to me, I get the same vibes from this guy that it was like what you expected out of DK Metcalf. You got the big frame, you got the wingspan. Let's just see how he works in terms of the roster with the other players he's competing against for targets. So
Right.
I definitely like I like the Quentin Johnson idea quite a bit, actually.
Now, here's a fun one. So, who's
Okay.
got a better shot between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud?
Oh, clearly CJ Stroud. I think Bryce Young. I'll just put it this way: I think the Carolina Panthers, straight up, top to bottom, are complete trash. Complete
Yep.
trash. I think Frank Reich is a terrible head coach. I think you have a bunch of washed up pieces that are all trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and make it happen. And Bryce Young is of this archetype of the Drew Brees, the Russell Wilsons, the Tua Tagovailoas of the world. But to me, he's like the least the least tough looking, like hard hitting thrower of those four players that I just mentioned. So there's nothing I like about Carolina whatsoever. I mean, granted, their defense played a little bit better under that was Steve Wilkes coaching them last year. But now that Wilkes is gone, you have a new defensive coordinator, you have a new offensive head coach. I just think that whole team is trash. And whoever wants to pull up our fantasy depth tracker and look at those bona fide number values for those Carolina Panthers that are there now, it's bad. Like you're going to see a lot of negative values. You're going to see values close to -1. You're going to see guys who clearly don't have values because they either didn't play or they're rookies. Carolina, No, it's a bad team. I mean, part of that will be mentioned in another video I'll be posting probably next week. But yeah, like just stay clear of Carolina. Houston is definitely one of those teams that I like. I've already done a video covering CJ Stroud and a little bit of that Houston Texans offense. I feel like they got a nice start on offense. For them, it's going to be the defense. If they can start to build that up, they have a very good head coach for that. And this does go into the video, which I'm going to point out, which is how to select your defense for this upcoming fantasy football season. And when you look at the Texans, and actually it's kind of ironic, if you actually look at the South in general, it's very interesting with who that division plays against. It is clearly the weakest offensive division in the NFL, I think. Maybe it's them, maybe it's the NFC West, but it's pretty cool that you're in a division where there's pretty much only one crazy bananas offensive team in Jacksonville. So your teams in the South, they will play against the NFC South, which in our eyes pretty much only has about two offenses that are kind of worth kind of being concerned with, of how they can push the ball downfield in Atlanta and New Orleans. And then the other division that the AFC South crosses against is the AFC North. That's where I'm concerned. I don't want to see that AFC North division. I think there's a lot of, I think almost all four of those teams are really good offenses at the end of the day. The one that I think you'd be not the scariest in the world, probably Cleveland. We'll see what their quarterback is, but they definitely have the biggest quarterback question coming into this season of any of those four AFC North teams. But that is, I would say the AFC North is the best offensive division coming into this season. So, I mean, you got to pick your poison, unfortunately, this year. Last year, I picked Philadelphia. Why? Because they were an outdoor team, so they had some bad weather. They had a snow game. They also had remnants of a hurricane roll in, especially against that was Jacksonville. So worked well for them. They had a cold weather game against Minnesota, so you brought a dome team outdoors. That worked really well. But also Philadelphia crossed over to the NFC North, which was not that great of an offensive division last year. And then I think they also crossed over to, I want to say the AFC, I want to say it was the AFC East, I think. No, it's the AFC South. My bad, because they played Jacksonville in that hurricane. So you had a division with pretty bad defenses or offenses in the AFC South, the NFC North, and even their own division really didn't pick up much steam until kind of towards the end of the season. So when I'm picking defenses, I want to look for that. I want to look for a bad division that you play in, and I want to look for bad divisions that you cross against, and give myself as many games against bad defenses as I can, so that way I don't need a second defense, and I know that I'm going to get pretty good points week in, week out.
Okay, here's the real question. Who's the more terrible team top to bottom, Carolina or New England?
Oh, it's clearly Carolina. New England's going to have a good, it is. Carolina clearly has a bad team on offense, a bad team on defense, and New England has one of the best defenses in the NFL. They're going to be a top 10 defense. And you also now have a familiarity with your quarterback and your offensive coordinator. So Mac Jones's offensive coordinator at Alabama was Bill O'Brien. So now you bring that into New England. Now he knows that lingo. You still have two pretty solid tight ends. You have Juju Smith-Schuster. The other receivers are kind of okay. I do like, I'm blanking on the guy's name. I actually, I ended up picking him up and then dropping him because he got hurt. But there's a really good speedy receiver for New England from Baylor. I forgot his name, but he's a really good guy. He got hurt before the season, and then he got hurt during the season. But that's a really good speed threat. That if Mac Jones can just throw it, that guy can definitely get open for them. I think I definitely think he's on that higher up on the depth chart now. I'm going to pull up our fantasy depth tracker and actually see if he's actually qualified as a top 2 receiver, either outside or in the slot. So let's take a look at that real quick.
I'm trying to look for you here.
Yeah.
Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah. Tyquan Thornton. Yes, that is definitely my guy. I like that guy quite a bit, and he's kind of got that Tyreek Hill kind of vibe about him, and that's pretty rare to get. But yeah, there we go. He's the number 2 wideout for the Patriots. So he rose up on that depth chart.
Not Devontae Parker?
No, nope. Devontae Parker is the 1. So he's the number 1 wideout. So you have Parker outside.
What about Juju?
He's the number 1 slot receiver.
Okay.
So yeah. Yep. So that works out pretty nice. Demario Douglas is behind Juju. So that makes a lot of sense. Demario was in Atlanta when they kind of had pretty much just a whole hodgepodge of Olamide Zacchaeus, Demario Douglas, and there was a third guy there, but they were all like the same kind of slot receiver kind of guy. So it is what it is. But the receiving threats that New England has, I mean, we definitely want to see a little bit more out of Devontae Parker. But between Parker, Juju, and Tyquan Thornton, that's not a bad receiving core. There's definitely receiving cores out there in the NFL that are clearly not even as good as New England's. So their big question is quarterback. If Mac Jones can actually play at a much better level than garbage, essentially, they'll be okay. Oh, wow! Actually, this changed up too. So he's actually ranked number 2 on their depth chart, but in terms of Bono value, Mike Gesicki is the number 2 tight end on the Patriots, and ahead of him is Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
So the Bono value for Hunter Henry was pretty much right at 0, and Mike Gesicki was pretty much right at 0.5. So it's pretty. They got some good tight ends. I remember they brought in that other tight end from the Titans that it never really worked out. But yeah, they have some pretty nice pieces there. Ramondre Stevenson is still a pretty highly regarded number 1 running back. I know a lot of people in fantasy really like Ramondre. I'm not so high on him, but his numbers do reflect that he's pretty good. Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of with you on that. And but yeah, offensively, if Mac Jones can actually play well, and we're talking like he's going to have to get to like the Dak Prescott, the Daniel Jones kind of level. If they do that, that is definitely going to be a team that has a shot at making the playoffs because they're going to be in every game because of defense.
No way. No way. They got the Jets, Bills, and Miami to play against. I don't think they have a shot at all.
Yeah.
They're probably going to go 0-6.
0-6 in the division. I mean,
1-5.
like literally 1-5. Yeah. I mean, like when it comes to quarterback, I mean, I'm pretty much as disappointed in Mac Jones as I am Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think either of them are really that good. But it's the pieces that Aaron Rodgers has are much better than those pieces I just mentioned on New England. So
yeah,
but it also does matter. It carries a lot of weight too. Like Breece Hall is like still like the main focal point of that offense in my eyes. I mean, Garrett Wilson's excellent. He's a great player. But to me, when I watched all of those New York Jets games last year, no Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall is where that offense lived and died. And pretty much the moment he went down, they significantly lost a bunch of games. And their average yards before contact with Breece Hall was like 3.5. And then the moment Breece Hall went down, it dropped below like 2.5 before contact. So, yeah, there's a ton of that offense that goes through that running game.
They were probably battling 8-man in the box too, like stacked boxes, because the quarterbacks couldn't throw 5 yards if they wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah, it was
Like,
it was pretty miserable, and they lost multiple offensive linemen right around that time as well. So you're losing offensive linemen, and you're battling the 8 people in the box.
I mean, even if Aaron Rodgers comes over there and he's half the quarterback that he was last year, that would still be better than anything the Jets have had in 20 years.
Yeah,
Mark Sanchez, ring a bell?
It is, but the thing is too, like it's very possible that, and granted, the Patriots' start to the season is brutal. I believe they open up against Philadelphia Eagles, so that's not going to be easy at all. But I think it's Philadelphia, yeah. And then I forgot who they play in their second game. I believe they play the Jets in Week 3. But even the Jets in their like first 6 games are incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at 6 games and you're saying Bill Belichick is like the easiest of those 6 games, you're going to have a tough run in your own rights. So that's kind of where I'm looking at this, saying, oh, it's going to be tough. I mean, I kind of like the ability of the Patriots to move forward. Granted, the whole terminology in the offense is going to be similar for Aaron Rodgers with what he knows from Hackett. But that offense is going to be pretty similar to what Mac Jones knows from Alabama as well. So I think these teams are identical, to be honest. I think these teams are both going to be at the bottom of the AFC East, and they're both going to be battling for about 5 to 7 games winning in their entire season. I just don't see the Jets winning a lot of games, and I don't see the Patriots winning a lot. Honestly, I think the Jets will win about 5 games, 5 to 6 games.
Oh, no. Oh, I've got the Jets definitely in the playoffs.
With the schedule they have, it's devastating. The AFC East,
I think they can win 9.
So the AFC East teams, they cross to the NFC East, I want to say, and then they also cross to the. I believe they cross to the AFC West. So I want to say you're playing NFC East teams, you're playing AFC East teams, and you're playing AFC West teams, if I'm right. Because, doesn't Dallas and Philadelphia is part of those first 6 games that the Jets play. So you're playing the whole East. I know they play the Giants as well. So you're playing Battle MetLife. Yep. So that's hard.
And
yeah, they play the AFC West.
AFC West.
They play the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Like
they do.
Okay. So between the East and the West, I think the Jets can win 2 to 3 games of those 8. So that's 3 and 5 right there.
I mean, Denver and Washington are easy.
The Jets go to Denver.
No, I think
and they
Denver
go to
and Washington are. Yeah, I know.
But they go to Denver during this stretch. I don't think so.
Yep.
I just I'm gonna bet against the Jets on that one when they go to the Denver Broncos. As long as the Denver Broncos are showing signs of improvement with that offense, I love the ability that Sean Payton has to spin that around and I think the Broncos definitely are going to play spoiler to quite a few teams. I don't think the Jets can get there. And this will kind of come into my video pointing out the defenses. I think really the way this is going to shake out is you're going to get probably about, I think you get at most you get 2 teams out of the AFC East. I think Buffalo and Miami are those 2. And then in the AFC West, I think you might get 2 teams between Kansas City and the Chargers. And in the South, you're just going to get Jacksonville. Like the other teams are nice, but you're just going to get Jacksonville. I think people are going to start to see this year. You're going to start to see, that's 5. You're going to start to see more of that balance between the AFC and the NFC. But then to me, the division that's really going to start to show up is the AFC North. I think those teams are all defensively oriented. They're returning a lot of familiar concepts. I mean, Baltimore on offense is going to be the one shaky one of the bunch. But I think you're going to see massive improvements in Pittsburgh. You're going to see massive, I mean, you're still going to see the same strong Cincinnati Bengals. And you're going to see a stronger Cleveland team as well. I really think that AFC North is going to make the biggest push of any division to make it to get 3 teams in. They all have good defenses, and they all have fairly good offenses as well. So you got 4 teams playing top to bottom. That granted, they're gonna buck heads within their own divisions for the 6 games they play. But I feel like in the entire AFC, I think the AFC North is the best division of all the teams in that conference. So I think you're gonna get 1 out of the South. Yeah, you get 1 out of the South. You might get 1 or 2 out of the AFC West. I think you definitely get 2 out of the East. And then it's going to be that mix. Do you get just 1 out of the AFC West and 3 out of the AFC North? Or do you get pretty much 2 out of the North, 2 out of the West, 2 out of the East, and 1 out of the South? I think you gotta figure out where you trim the fat and you take out that 8th team. But at the end of the season, you're only getting 7 teams in there. So I just don't. I think the whole AFC East schedule is so tough within the division. It's incredibly tough across the conference in the NFC East. I mean, that's pretty much the one division you just did not want to see from the NFC. If it was, I don't know, maybe the NFC North could be a little tough too, but man, just seeing those top high-end defenses. I mean, everyone is defensively oriented from that division at a very heavy rate, except for the Giants. And then to come back to your own conference, and then you have to stare down the Chiefs, the Chargers. You have to go to the Broncos. I'll give them a win against my Raiders. It's going to be us putting up the white flag instead of the black flag this year. So I get it. Yeah, I just think that AFC East, along with almost every other division in football, like everyone just seemed to kind of draw the short string on opponents that they could play against. It's almost like everyone drew a fairly difficult schedule this year, except for one, and I'll point that out.
So, all right.
So
we should probably take notes on these things because I definitely disagree with the Jets take.
Okay.
Because I just went through their schedule and I still have them at least 8 or 9 wins. Also, we have been told in our notes or in our comments that we are the new Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. So which one of us is taking Dallas?
So yeah, I mean that's interesting. Like, granted, I did like Dallas's. I do like Dallas's defense, but when it comes back to my whole theory of defenses, unfortunately I am going to avoid all of the NFC East. But I do like Dallas a lot as a team. I don't know.
Great.
It's yeah. I mean, not as much as Skip Bayless likes them, but I don't know. It's a very
I
interesting
just like
team.
Dallas all the way.
Oh,
dislike Dallas. No, I hate Dallas.
Oh, okay.
so I guess I'm the Shannon Sharp. And also, the Jets can go undefeated if Rodgers takes a darkness retreat every week.
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I don't think so because he was supposed to do that for 4 days. He only did it for 2. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah,
someone broke up his retreat and told him he was getting traded.
oh, okay, okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah, that
That's
sounds
where
about
his
right.
whole beef with the Packers came, and that's where the whole beef came was, he was literally in the retreat, or, like, he told the Packers, "Hey, don't make any, like, moves or whatever," and during the retreat, the Packers made the move, or they started talking, and Rodgers is very weird. So, like, he has a close-knit, like, group of people. That's where his headbutting contest came with Adam Schefter, was he had a close-knit, like, close group of people that he would feed information to. So then when Adam Schefter comes out and says something, and Rodgers comes back and goes, no, no one gave you that information. You're wrong." And Schefter's like, "Oh, my bad. I said the wrong
Yeah,
stuff." And it was like, because I
right.
lost a little bit of respect for Shefty that day. 'Cause
Yes,
I was like,
yes,
"Oh, Rodgers caught you, and now you're sassy
yes.
about it on live television. Let's go." Um,
Yeah, exactly,
and so,
exactly.
like, to me, it's yeah, right, and so, like, to me, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, sometimes they get this information because they're trying to get it leaked so fast, and
Yes.
the Packers kinda leaked it on themselves, and Rodgers comes out and goes, "Yeah, I thought we were not supposed to do this until I was done. Yeah, I'm good. Let's go. Let's trade me now."
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. I definitely understand that. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I feel like this is a team that you give them another year. I think in year 2 of the Jets, if they hold on to everything, I mean, like essentially, I think we're rolling the dice on the ownership. It's bad ownership
Yeah.
that the Jets have. It really is. I mean, I think Robert Saleh is a really good coach. I think he's in a really bad situation, and like I feel like that owner could end up firing him is if the Jets. I mean, I kind of rolled it off my head. I think it could probably end up being about 5 to 7 games now that I kind of think about it. And I do think they would probably have fairly good success within their own division. And excuse me, they even like that week 1 game against Buffalo is going to be interesting. That's your first game out of the gates. Everyone's pretty much at a level playing field at that point. So that's an interesting game. That Buffalo game is not a gimme for the Bills at all. So like if you're splitting games like that and you're winning a few other games across the other divisions, it'll put you right around about 7-ish, I think. But if that's the case, I mean, does that owner say, "Hey,
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers isn't that great. Zach, you missed on Zach Wilson. Boom, you're gone." I think that could be something that happens, and I'd hate to see that, but I would think in the next season they would not necessarily have an easier schedule because they would be further back in their division, which gives you a couple games in all honesty, but you wouldn't have the gauntlet of a schedule of the AFC West and the NFC East. You might have
okay.
the AFC North, but it is what it is.
Alright. But before we wrap this up, alright, let me run through the Jets
Yes.
schedule here. So, like, Buffalo and Dallas, okay, I'll give you those. But New England, they're gonna beat New England. So that's 1. They'll lose to Kansas City, that's fine. They'll beat Denver, that's 2. They'll lose to Philly, that's fine. I think they can beat the Jets, 3, or the Giants, I'm sorry, that's
Oh yeah.
3.
Yeah.
They'll lose to
Yep.
the Chargers. They'll beat the
Yep.
Raiders, so 4.
Yep.
I don't think they can beat Buffalo. So, and then they'll probably lose to Miami. They got Atlanta, Houston, and then Miami again, so that's 3 more wins. I think they can split with Miami. That's
Oh no, no,
6
no,
right
no.
there. Washington,
I'm not giving
you
them
don't think they
Atlanta.
can beat Miami at all? You're not giving them Atlanta? Are you
No, I
kidding
think
me?
they
Atlanta's horrible.
no, I'm not. No,
Their defense
Atlanta's
is still bad.
but those guys who went on the exodus from Philadelphia, they went to Atlanta and they brought in Jeff Okudah from Detroit. They got
Yeah,
some sneaky things going on with that defense.
yeah,
That
they're
is
they're
that's the
sneaky,
team
but
I like.
they were pretty bad. I know you
No,
like
no,
Atlanta. Okay.
actually,
No,
and here's
okay.
the other thing with Atlanta that's interesting too. They won 7 games last year. They won 7 games the year before that. 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Triggs, I thought Atlanta was the worst team in the NFL. Clearly the worst team
I,
in the NFL. And somehow they
yeah.
won 7 games.
Okay.
So that's a
I'll
team
give
I
you
think
Atlanta.
moves.
I'll give
Yes.
you Atlanta. So we're at 5.
Hmm.
Then they got Washington. That's a win. They got Cleveland. That's a win. So we're at 7.
Yes.
And then they have New
Yes.
England again. I got 8. At least 8 or 9 wins.
So that like you have them at 8, I have them at 7. And when it comes to the division, I think it's very possible that they could split. They could split that entire division. They could go 3 and
I
3.
agree.
They could sneak a game against Buffalo. They could sneak a game against Miami. Um, I think New England's going to be almost the one they have the hardest matchup with because they are so similar in exactly top to bottom build. Very similar with stout defenses and kind of wonky on offense. But hold up one sec. Out to lose some juice, and not anymore. But there we go. But yeah, I mean, I do think that 7-ish range is close. But if that's the case, then I just is going to end up being good enough to get into the playoffs, especially as the
I
third
mean,
ish team out of the AFC East.
I have them at 9.
Even 8.
I have them at 9.
Ooh, it's still tough. That is
Because
it's tough. I
I
mean,
like you I gave you a couple of those because I do think they can split with Buffalo, and I think they'll beat Atlanta. So like technically I could get them at like 10. I think they're at least 2 games better than what they were last year, just by having a competent quarterback.
and last year they won what, 5 games?
7.
Oh, they won 7. Okay.
7.
Wow. They won
Yeah.
7 games last. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, for quite a while
And
they were right up there.
they literally had the lowest scoring offense in the NFL. They scored the fewest points in the NFL, and their defense still had them at a minus 20 point differential. So, like, literally the worst offense in the NFL. If they're even like a couple notches above that, they got 2 to 3 more wins.
Hmm. That's fair. I mean, that is definitely fair. Um yeah, yeah, it's definitely doable. I mean, to me, like the thing is when you also look at that schedule too, when you bring up both Washington and the ironically the Texans, they're playing both those teams later in the season. So those teams will have a little more time to kind of figure themselves out. They may not be good teams at all, but those are teams that can possibly do something interesting. And I don't see it much out of the Texans, but I do think Washington is going to be a very hard game for almost anyone. Whoever plays Washington this year, and it's kind of been their modus operandi is like, hey, we may not win against you, but we're Washington and we're going to leave you battled and bruised, and you're going to play the ugliest black and blue football that you'll play this season against us. Um, it's
See,
it,
and
it's
that's
that's
part of my thing though. That's part of
yeah,
my thing is like, so at the end of the season, they play New England, Cleveland, Washington, and Houston. 4 teams that are going to be really, really bad. Like by the end of the season, none of those teams are going to play like their
true.
starters or anything like that. So those are 4 easy wins. That's the
Okay.
that's how I kind of rack it up,
Okay.
you know?
Gotcha. 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 Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair way to go about it. So, yeah, it's that is interesting. You could definitely be onto something with that. and we'll see. I mean, teams can start real slow and just fall into their groove, and regardless of their strength of schedule or whatever, I mean, when you get in that groove and start going, you're going. So that could definitely happen. To me,
Right.
like the biggest concern I have with that team is Brees Hall. They're going to go. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to put any bets or any fantasy value with a guy coming off a torn ACL. I think if they get Dalvin Cook, that changes things. That really changes things.
No.
No. So
No, I meant
Dalvin
no
Cook
as
up
in,
there wouldn't
like,
be good.
Brees Hall. I wouldn't fantasy. No, Brees
Oh
Hall.
yeah, 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 yeah. I like the guy a lot. I just I see him play with a healthy ACL before investing in the guy in the future.
Remember, I wanted Dalvin Cook and D Hop to go to the Jets because that would have just been spectacular for Hard Knocks.
Bananas. It would be. Absolutely. Absolutely. That and I think too, like right then and there, DeAndre Hopkins would easily overtake Mecole Hardman in the slot.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know, like would you want him to do that or would you want him to overtake Alan Lazard outside? But I would think you'd
Either
want the
one.
Rodgers familiarity. Yeah. Yeah. And it could happen
Yeah.
in various parts of the game as well. But yeah, D Hop would overtake both of them. So yeah. So I'd say we're looking better on our show today and doing a little bit better after the technical issues.
Oh, it's all good, man. This is literally
Yeah,
live. Anything can
exactly,
happen when you go
exactly.
live.
I know. Yeah, it's definitely
If
a
there's
learning curve, and yeah,
anything I've learned about professional wrestling is anytime
okay,
you're live in front of an audience, it's throw it out the window.
chaos. Nice, nice, exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's good stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, something cool too that you should definitely take a look at is they actually had a bunch of wrestlers on what is it, the weakest link were on yesterday. You had Big E, what you had the
Oh,
Miz, you had was it Roman Reigns? The guy he's from Iowa
really?
and he's married his wife Sasha Banks, I want to say.
Seth Rollins. Seth
Seth
Rollins,
Rollins,
yeah.
yes. Seth Rollins and his wife Sasha Banks there.
No,
But yeah, it was
Becky.
pretty cool. It was a fun,
Becky.
fun group. Yes, yes, and she was ironically the strongest link throughout the entire show.
Oh no, you spoiled
Yep.
it. What? Ah,
What?
I
Oh, I
can't
didn't
watch it
spoil
now.
anything, man. Yeah, you can.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
just
okay.
telling you she's smart. Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything for you, bud.
I'm
I
messing.
mean, like there's stuff that happens and you'll see. But I'm just telling you she's very smart and a good wrestler on
Hmm.
top of that. So it's worth a
Well,
watch. Absolutely. You can probably find it on Peacock.
I'm not gonna hold that against you, but everyone they tend to like Becky, but I'm not a big fan. Hopefully Rollins isn't watching.
Oh, okay. Okay. Eh, we'll see.
Oh, oh, wait a
Yep.
minute. Before we head out, you didn't show us your belt.
Oh yeah, that's right. So kind of changing the color scheme up today, going a little orange and black. So we'll have to. We're still working on the marketing side of things, but we went with Tony Stark and Iron Man. Yeah, there we
What?
go.
Alright,
Yep, exactly.
that's dope.
So exactly had to get a belt shout out in here. So yeah, we definitely changed up the
How many
belts.
belts do you have?
I believe I have probably a dozen. I'd say probably about 12, maybe a little bit more.
Oh, man. So we could go,
Exactly. That's what.
like, 3 months before we ever hit an actual, like, duplicate belt.
It's true. Yeah, we could absolutely go on a good streak, and I'll start running that in the back of my mind for sure.
The comment section likes your belt.
Hey, I'll take it, man. I will absolutely take it. I'll take that. And as we start figuring out our technical side of the show with definitely the streaming stuff, that is definitely a part of the affiliated marketing that hopefully one day we can start making some money on. Yes, sir.
Oh no, you're breaking up. We're at the end and you're breaking up.
Oh no. Yeah, I had everything closed out and everything, and just kind of keep it the way it is, you know? Exactly.
You know what? I forgot to do this last
What you got,
show.
Triggs? Oh,
The
okay.
game of the day is
Game of the
Tony Hawk
day.
Pro Skater.
Oh, nice. Is that the one where you can play as Darth Maul? Or I think that was the PS2 version.
I was gonna say this is the original.
Oh, that's the original. Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
did you see speaking of the end of the show real
Wait a
quick,
minute. Give me
there
one
was an
second. I'm gonna
original
flip it.
Oh. Okay.
I flipped the camera.
Oh. But there was an original
Boom.
iPhone. There you go. The first generation of iPhones sold for I think it was like 140 or 160,000 today. Yeah. Fresh in the box,
What?
sealed, everything. Yep. Yeah, so we should have bought 2. We all should have bought 2 of those back then. Now we know.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And if we
That's
got enough
silly.
cachet, might want to buy 2 of those Vision Pros. Just saying. Might want to get 2 of those, you know. So
Well,
they're going to be about
I don't know anything
3,000 and
about
change.
iPhones.
So, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. You're what, a Samsung guy or something like that?
I am a Samsung guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
There's
okay.
there's
Well,
gonna
there
be
you go.
some comments left in the comment section about me not being an iPhone guy. I already know it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Just gotta be ready for it. Cool, cool. Well, I think that's a good show for
It's
today.
so
And
weird. Now that I flipped the camera,
okay, I still see it as the same.
I'm like, no, I'm throwing myself off. So like, all right, now I'm turning to the right. Give me one second here. Boom.
Oh, you flipped
I'm
vertically.
turning to the right. So yeah,
Okay.
no, it's mirrored. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I just had to do that for
Gotcha.
the game so you could actually read it on the screen. I don't know.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. I gotcha. Cool, cool. All right, good stuff.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, good show. We're starting to figure it out, starting to get out the technical stuff and get some things going. So yeah, we'll be good. Yeah, for whoever's out there still watching, we'll have more of our YouTube stuff this week. I'll be dropping a video today or tomorrow. Triggs will take care of Thursday, and then we'll alternate the other last 2 days of the week. And boom, you'll see us back here live again next week. Mondays and Tuesdays are the days that we're sticking to, 7 o'clock at night, barring any technical difficulties.
no, I think we got it now. I think we're
I
good.
think so. I think we got it too, man. I think we're doing all right. So cool, cool. Well, I think I'm Steve Metrics. That's
DJ Triggs, and I'm going home.
Briggs. He's going home. He's going home to his fancy piano and luxurious estates. Good stuff. Well, together we're No Debate Sports, and that's No Debate.
No debate.